Thing is, I think we need to all pray for Wemby.
Why?
Because he can't play too many minutes. They're gonna kill him out there.
You're joking.
Man, I am damn sure joking. Because you guys, these people, man, they pissing me off. I'm watching the whole games. They ain't playing dirty.
No.
And like, these are some of the softest fouls I ever seen in my life. You got these clowns on TV talking about, oh, they're gonna hurt poor Wemby. I was like, hurt him? Are you kidding, man? It drives me crazy watching it.
Now, one of the biggest names in basketball media, Victor Wembanyama, is being treated with such disdain that it has entirely split the NBA community. Charles Barkley did more than just bash Wemby when he appeared on live national television. He made fun of him and made fun of him.
But I don't think Wemby's complaining, so he's not worried about it. I think Wemby's like, okay, you want to play like this, I can
Play like what?
No, whatever you want to
You
play
don't want to be touched at all?
Wemby's not complaining. That's the fans complaining.
And the
You're yelling
announcers.
at the well, you're
And the
yelling at them.
announcers.
Well, I will say.
With that enormous smile on his face, he sat up inside the NBA and essentially told everyone that this generational talent needs to toughen himself because he is soft and spoiled. This is made even more bizarre by the fact that Wemby is putting up numbers in the middle of the playoffs that have never been seen by a second-year player in NBA history. A rising narrative that Victor Wembanyama is being treated like a child is being promoted by pundits, fans, and veterans alike behind the highlight reels and alien parallels. Charles Barkley simply turned up the volume during that exchange. We're going to dissect the surprising reality of why Barkley said what he did, what Wemby actually did after learning of it, and how this relates to the OKC foul debate in the SGA flopping controversy. Your timeline doesn't do it justice. Hey, how are you, family? Greetings from the channel once again. We are delving deeply into some actual basketball politics that have been causing a stir in the NBA world today. We cannot ignore Charles Barkley's pursuit of the world's most intriguing young talent on live television without having a fair conversation about it. Let me be really honest with you all before we go on this crazy journey. On social media, there has been a lot of discussion regarding why me, OKC, SGA, and whether or not the Spurs are truly prepared to contend in these playoffs. However, a lot of people are currently just seeing parts of this narrative and missing what is actually happening, so we are going to separate the facts from the fiction and give you the whole picture. Charles Barkley's outburst while sitting opposite Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith on Inside the NBA was the date that completely altered the discourse. This wasn't a casual remark. Victor Wembanyama's treatment by the NBA, the media, and the basketball community as a whole was harshly criticized in front of the camera. And Barkley had nothing to conceal. Hold on now. There was more to this than just Chuck being Chuck and doing his typical hot take act. Barkley used a certain point to make a particular argument. Additionally, you must fully comprehend what he said before forming an opinion, regardless of whether you agree with him. This is where things get really hot though, because WMBB's response to all of this reveals all you need to know about this young man's true competitive nature. Check it out, then. Let's properly establish the scenario. Even though Victor Wembanyama is just in his second NBA season, he is already doing things on the floor that have scouts, coaches, and former players re-evaluating their preconceived notions about the boundaries of human physique. This 7 feet 4 inches wingspan is longer than most people can imagine. It moves with a guard's fluidity and footwork, blocks shots from angles that should be physically impossible, and scores in ways that give defenders the impression that they are participating in an entirely different sport. This young man was the foundation of the Spurs' whole franchise. Wembanyama is also anticipated to be the NBA's next face, both within and outside. Not now, not later, not in 5 years. However, this is where things start to get tense. Because some veterans and experts have begun asking out loud a very difficult question that comes with all of that excitement, with all of those parallels to aliens, unicorns, and generational skills. Is Wemby being overly protected by the NBA? Is the media unwilling to hold him accountable the same way they would any other player because they are so preoccupied with maintaining this image of a flawless basketball prodigy? And no one asked that question more loudly or in public than Charles Barkley. Now, since the way it has been presented on social media does not adequately convey the point Barkley was making, allow me to explain exactly what he meant. Victor Wembanyama is being treated like a piece of glass, according to Barkley's main argument. That everyone in his immediate vicinity, including the Spurs organization, the media, and the larger basketball community, is so afraid of Wi getting wounded or exposed that they have built a bubble around him. When Barkley used the word nurtured, it was obviously intended to be disparaging. In essence, he was arguing that Wemby has never truly been put to the test the way a player at the championship level should be because he has been so well cared for, shielded, and managed since the day he joined the league. Barkley didn't end there. He went on to say that Wemby was being treated like a baby by others. Like a baby, he used those words on live television. Additionally, Charles Barkley's remarks on Inside the NBA don't simply vanish from the show. Everyone instantly has an opinion after it is snipped, uploaded, and goes viral. In the comments, fans were going crazy. On Twitter, former players were offering their opinions. The debate erupted overnight, raising the question of whether Barkley was correct. I take it you've seen that? His team was somewhat affected, but I focused more on the offense, and the Spurs didn't have a strong offensive performance. Is Chuck simply out of pocket for no apparent reason, or is Wemby being overly protective? Actual conversation. This is the aspect of Barkley's argument that, despite its harsh delivery, has some merit. There is no denying that the NBA has managed Wemby's development with a certain amount of caution. His playing time has been handled carefully by the Spurs. He has benefited greatly from the league's foul calling in the post. In the world of basketball, receiving almost all positive media coverage can actually work against you in some situations because opponents and analysts begin to question whether you have really been tested and whether the star treatment has softened the edges of what could be a truly dominant competitor. However, this is when things really get serious, and Bofi is either avoiding or refusing to talk about it. The statistics of Wembanyama are accurate. This player doesn't require shielding from inspection. Compared to every other second-year player in NBA history, this player is statistically different. Wemby's overly cultivated argument begins to seem more like it comes from discomfort than analysis when you are scoring, grabbing rebounds, blocking, and assisting at the level he is. In actuality, Victor Wembanyama is making the game appear simple when facing NBA professionals who have reached adulthood. And since it challenges the conventional narrative